All right. Well, it's not the smoothest transition, but the other thing that I can't believe happened was Brooklyn winning game five.
Yeah. What can you say other than Wow.
That is a legacy top 15 player of all time cementing type game
Yeah.
where like very LeBron-esque, where your team is solid and has a couple guys who play in their role well, but your two other stars are gone. Everything is on your shoulders. You need one of your role players to just have a good game, and Jeff Green did that. One of the most awesome games from a role player we've seen in a really long time. I think he had 27 in the game and started 6 of 6 from three. It's just wild, surprising game from Jeff Green. But Kevin Durant, man, like that is one of the best playoff performances you will ever see from a guy who um, bailed out Harden really late in that game.
Yeah.
Harden kind of just went, "We're going to get a shot clock violation this possession because I just feel like dribbling the ball out." Actually, KD, here you go with 2 seconds. KD makes a ridiculous 3-point shot. KD 18 fourth quarter points, finishes with 49, 17, and 10. Like
Yeah.
that is better than a LeBron stat line in some of his best games.
I mean, there was KD through the first half where he just put the team on his shoulders and said, okay, nothing's happening here with you guys. I'll just like drag us along and keep us within reach of the Bucks with plenty of help from Jeff Green, of course. But a lot of those shots coming off KD's play. And then the third quarter where he brought the team well within striking distance. And then I think he had 3 threes in the fourth quarter that were just unbelievable. Uh, that one you mentioned, and then two others less crazy, but also just unguardable shots.
Yeah.
Like I'm just casually bringing the ball up, still 3, 4 feet from the 3 point line, and just going to pull up and launch from 7 feet in the air. Unless you have like Brooke Lopez or Giannis sitting at the 3 point line ready to contest that, there's nothing you can do if you're Milwaukee. And I guess you have something to say on that, but I wanted to transition to it wasn't the Bucks defense that let them down because I think the way KD lit up, you really can't stop that. But the offense, I mean, we said they need to go punch for punch with the Nets, and they built themselves a lead. All they had to do was just score a basket every time Brooklyn scored a basket, and they were unable to do that, especially in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Um, I'll get back to the offense. I have two things on what you just said. One, not only was KD carrying them, Harden and Joe Harris and Shamit and Bruce Brown, they were like dragging the other way. It wasn't just that he was carrying them. They were like trying to actively go in the opposite direction. James Harden was like obviously injured. He was very obviously injured. He had no lift in his shot. He had no explosiveness. He could still make great passes, which is actually something of value in that game, but really was a zero on offense.
He could also flop. He had a pretty significant one that I think to get 2 free throws that put them ahead or a little more ahead. If I had to put like 3 key moments of the game, it would be like the flop, KD's insane three, and then Giannis's fumble with 10 seconds left. So credit to
Yeah.
Harden there.
Yeah. And then the other thing I wanted to say on that is you said unguardable shots. If only Milwaukee had a 7 foot super freak with the lateral mobility and length to disrupt Kevin Durant. Like it is shocking. I'm using all of these crazy words over and over again, and I realize it, but it's dumbfounding that Giannis has
Inconceivable,
not taken.
flabbergasting.
Yeah, well, you see, Kawhi decides in game five, game six, game seven. Okay, I'm getting Doncic now, and you're getting locked up, sir. Okay, I'm guarding Mitchell now. You're getting locked up, sir. And Giannis last year didn't really take the Butler assignment, and now this year he's not really taking the Kevin Durant assignment. If he's your number one guy, if he won defensive player the last year, if he is on the all defensive team this year, he should relish that matchup, right? There's a reason you take pride in your defense. You have to if you're going to be part of those all defensive teams. He's a great defender. He blocked a KD jump shot early in this year, which was like no one saw that coming. But it's no one can ever stop KD, and to a degree, you can't contain him either. But Giannis was made in a lab, him and Anthony Davis, essentially, to be the guys who you could put on a Kevin Durant and at least bother him, right? He's
Yes.
same height, same length. He can move well. I would even say Giannis has a couple pounds on Kevin as well and could be physical with him. But Giannis decides he doesn't want to expend that maximum level of energy on defense, and he'd rather sit in the corner guarding Landry Shamet. Like I don't understand. And 100% Mike Budenholzer is gone if Milwaukee doesn't win this series, because they've had him for quite a few years now. He refuses to make adjustments in the playoffs. Great regular season coach, but it really feels like one of those Dwayne Casey, Mark Jackson situations where you bring in Steve Kerr, you bring in Nick Nurse, and those guys just have something in them to elevate that team just to the next level, right? Budenholzer, great coach, fantastic coach, really decorated. But he kind of just ceilings out at the second round. And so you need to make that adjustment to find even the Clippers finally firing Doc Rivers. Tyronn Lue, we'll see how he does with the Clippers team, but he did it with the Cavs, right? It's that coach that can just somehow manage to get to the next level, either through adjustments, either through motivation. I don't know what it is, but it's a secret sauce, and Budenholzer doesn't have it. And if the Bucks don't win this and prove me wrong, then he's definitely gone, because that's the place where you have to make the adjustment. Otherwise, Drew, Middleton, Giannis, all these guys are locked in, and then the core or the supporting cast rotates a little bit around them. But there's not much else you can go if you're Milwaukee, and they have to win game 6 at the bare minimum, because I believe Harden totally injured. They should have been going at him, not one-on-one, but put him in a screen and roll every time. Because yeah, and Giannis has got to do something better than a fadeaway in the post. Like, just turn around and I don't know. I don't know, man.
I mean, I'm sure he's thinking this guy's going to flop as soon as I take a step towards the basket, but the refs weren't that in Harden's favor. You've got to like salivate over that matchup. And yeah, there's something from Giannis, like that LeBron, that Kawhi, like clutch factor and desire we're not really seeing, eh?
Nope. We'll go back to him. 45-minute player, right? And I think if he's not going to be the closer, then he at the very least has to decide, okay, in those last 3 minutes, if I'm not the offensive creator, I can give that to Middleton and Drew, then I should be the guy who goes and takes Kevin Durant out of this game, or at least try his best, because I think he can do a lot better than PJ Tucker or Chris Middleton. I cannot believe he hasn't guarded him more in this series. Maybe we'll see in game 6 as their last case scenario, right?
Yeah. Tipping off in what, 2 hours?
Yeah.
Hour and a half?
We'll see. Maybe we'll have a emergency pod late at night featuring Drunk Max and and heat exhaustion Owen if Katie does something remarkable again.
Yeah. If not, maybe everything we'll have said will have not applied whatsoever by the time this is up on YouTube.
Yeah.
But we'll see. And we'll be right back to wrap up the show.